Hello everyone, this video is to demonstrate solving multiple cameras and object track by using mmSolver. If this is the first video you're watching about mmSolver, I would highly recommend to watch Introduction to mmSolver first, and link to the video is shared in the description. Alright, first we'll create a camera and punch in the filmbag values. So the filmbag values are 1.980 into 1.080, and the camera main focal length is 32. Let's say 32, and we'll call this cam main. Oops. And we'll create another camera, and we call this as witness, and filmbag for witness is same, 1.980 into 1.080, and the focal length is 35. And for the cam main, I'm going to attach the image plane first. Import image, backplate, and the frame range is from 25 to 120, I guess. Image plane. Use image sequence, look through camera. I'm going to turn off the grid. Yes, it's 25 to 120. And we're going to do the same thing for witness camera. Look through the witness camera. Import image. Witness camera 1. Assign that. Use image sequence. Look through the camera. I have rendered it from Maya, so it should be in sync already. So as you can see, we have a camera motion and the boat motion from the witness camera, and the witness camera is static, and we have a camera view. If you look through the main camera, you have the boat moving and the camera moving, and we're going to solve this, and we'll make sure that our camera follows the motion from the witness camera. Alright, to do the lineup, we need to import the set geometry and the boat. So I'm going to import set geometry. As you can see, we have our set geometry here. I'm going to use two-side lighting. Yes, and this is our set geometry. And I'm going to import my boat, which is this one. So we have our boat there. I'm just going to rename this to set geometry and boat chom. Alright, cool. So we'll look through cam main. Image plane depth is in the front, so I'm going to push that back. Increase this to 1000 maybe, and then maybe plus, and then camera, we'll change the near clip to 1 and the far clip to that value, and I'll select the geometry and apply a use background shader. Once I apply use background shader, we can look through the geometry. So I'm going to line up my camera, a rough lineup. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just do a rough lineup like this. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit. Something like this, maybe. And I'm going to apply the same material for this. Use background. Cool. And I'm going to change the object color. Red. Change this to yellow. Cool. We have our image plane and a rough lineup of our main camera. I'm going to do the same thing for the witness camera. I'm going to do a rough lineup, and the image plane depth of the witness camera is 100. I'm going to increase that too. And the near clip to 1, and this one 10,000. Is it 10,000? 100,000? Yes. Oops. I'll have to increase it to maybe more. Yes. Cool. So it's this way. Something like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but a rough lineup. Something like this. And now we're going to do a lineup using mmSolver. So go to mmSolver shelf and then open mmSolver. I'll create a new collection, and the first thing I'm going to do is line up my main camera. I'll minimize this. I'll zoom in. Create a 2D point. Oops, I think the depth of this one I have to increase, maybe like 2 or something, because the depth of my points is 1 initially, and my near clip is 1, so that's the reason you couldn't able to see it. So as soon as I change the depth to 2, you can change it by selecting the marker group, and I look through the main camera. That's my 2D point, and I'll place it here somewhere. I'll zoom in here, and the 3D point goes here. I'm going to lock that. I'm going to select my 2D point and lock that too, and I'll create one here maybe. So create, move it here, place it in the 2D space. You can lock it, select the bundle, and that bundle goes here maybe. Yes, so I'm going to do that. Snap that. I'll just line up one more point, create, place it somewhere here. And lock it, select the bundle, snap it, lock it, and we'll give 2 points on the boat. So I'll create a 2D point here, place it here, and then lock my 2D point, select the bundle, snap it somewhere here, maybe, yes, and then lock. Oh, I'm going to lock it later, and we'll line up maybe this one here. So I'll just hide the geometry, create a 2D point, place it here. I'm going to duplicate this point and then place it here. And for this point, I'm going to turn on my polygons and just zoom out a little bit so that I can see the 3D location of that point. Select my bundle and snap it to this vertex maybe. Yes, and this one I'll do the same thing. Select the bundle and snap it. I'll lock that. No, I'm going to lock it later. So first thing, I'm going to rename this. So these are my cam main camera points. These are my object points. So I'll say, sorry, these are my object track points. So I'll say cam main underscore object, or maybe boat points. All right, so we are done with cam main. We'll go to the cam witness, and then we'll do the same thing. So looking through cam witness, I'll create a 2D point, place it here, zoom in there, and then lock that one, and the 3D position of that goes here. I'm going to lock that too, and this one goes here. So I'll just create a point. Oops. Create, place it here, and snap the 3D position of that to here. Oops. And lock that, and even the 2D marker, I'm going to lock it. Just place one more over here maybe. 2D point. I think the depth of this one is wrong. Let's change this to 2, and select it, and then move my 2D point here. And the 3D location of that goes here. Lock the bundle position, lock the 2D marker position, and we'll create some 2D points on the board too. It doesn't have to be a common point, you can place it anywhere. So for now I'll just place one here, move the 2D point there, somewhere here, lock that, select the bundle, snap it, snap the 3D location and lock that, and maybe this point. Alright, so I'll just create a new 2D point, place it here in the 2D space, in the bundle, snap the bundle to the 3D location, maybe over here, and lock that, and I'll lock the 2D position. So we got 2 points on the board. I'll just take one more, create, and that 2D point goes here, place it, that red thing, lock the 2D position, select the bundle, and snap it, and lock. Alright, so we have created our 2D points and placed the 3D position properly. Let's solve for one frame. So I'm going to open the Solver UI, and these are my camera points. I'll just add them all. These are my witness camera points. I'll add them all. I'm going to rename these points. So these are my camera points, like which I'm going to solve for camera with using these points. So I'm going to rename this to witness underscore camera points, and these points are witness underscore board points. Cool. I'll select all the bundles and unlock them, and I'll make sure I select the camera board points and unlock them too. and the board point goes inside the board geometry, all the board points, and once it goes inside the geometry, we'll make sure we lock it, and we'll just double check the position of the board points. So that seems to be there, that's on the board. We'll go to the perspective here. Oops. So that's on the board, that's on the board. Alright, all the points are on the board, and even these bundles, and make sure I'll lock it. Alright, we got 3 camera points from the main camera, and 3 camera points from the witness camera, and 3 points on the board from the main camera, and 3 points from the witness camera on the board. Alright, let's solve for this. Solver UI. So we have added all our 2D points, and we're going to add the camera, witness camera. We'll select the witness camera and add the witness camera, and we are going to solve for the board also. So we don't need the XYZ attributes here. So I will key, so I'll key all the cameras and the boards which are added to the solver UI. So I've keyed all of them, and make sure we logged all the bundles. Hopefully, yep, it's all logged. I'll make sure I lock all my 2D points also. This one. Alright, all my 2D points are logged, all my 3D points are logged, everything is added, and I'll say override current frame and say solve. Takes a while, it's initializing, and we got to solve. So the error is 0.36. If you look from the main camera, our camera is lined up and board is lined up pretty much. And if you look through the witness camera, it should be same. Our camera is at the camera position. Here we have our board lined up over here, and everything is working pretty well. Let's see what we can do next. Alright, and once we have a lineup, we don't need all these points, so I'm going to delete all of these marker groups and bundles and everything. We don't need this marker group, we don't need all of this. Alright, so we have a main camera, we have a witness camera. I will increase the size of the main camera. Object display, maybe something like this, close to what we have in the witness camera. Alright, so I've tracked some points in the equalizer. I'm going to change this color to blue or something. Oops, no. Blue. So I've tracked some points for the camera and the board from the main camera and from the witness camera. So I'm going to import them first. So from the main camera, so load markers, I'm going to browse to the points. So it's here, cam main. I'll make sure I've selected cam main here and say load. So I'll just hide my geometry to show the 2D points which I've tracked. So all these are my 2D points which I've tracked. All the white locators you see, those are my 2D points which I've tracked from 3D equalizer. I'm going to change the depth of this marker group to 2 or something. I'll do the same thing for the witness camera. Load, browse, paste that, witness camera, and I'll say witness camera here and say load. And when I look through the witness camera, I should be having points. I'll increase the depth to 2. Cool. So I have my 2D points tracked. I don't have any points tracked to the camera. I just tracked points on the board. because we're not going to solve for camera. We're not going to solve for witness camera, sorry. Alright, so let's go to the first frame and we'll do the same setup how we have done for the lineup. So all these points are my camera points. So I'll say cam main underscore cam points, and all these are my cam main underscore board points, and I'll go to the witness camera, and all these points are on the board. Yes, so I'll select all these points, oops, and I'll say witness underscore board points. Cool. So let's go to the main camera, select all my points, and bundle tools, raycast markers. All the 3D position of that marker should be projected. So if I select all these points, it should be there on the geometry. Alright, so it seems like everything is projected. So I'll go to the witness camera and do the same thing. I'll select my witness camera points and project it. Cool. So I'll take all my board points, move it inside the board, and then select all the points and then lock them. And cam points, I'll make sure I lock them too. Lock witness. Cool. All right. We'll open up Solver UI. I'm not going to remove the output attributes here because we're going to solve for them, but we got some new points, new 2D points. So I'll select all the points, I'll add them, and I'll go to the witness camera, select all the markers and add them too. Just increase the size of this. Cool. And we are no longer solving for current frame. We're going to change that to 25 to 120, and everything is animated. I will make sure we got some rotation here, and camera main, oops, cam main board. Cool. So for the board, I'll just make sure I'll have some rotation values in there. Just need to give some values initially. We're going to fix that in the next versions maybe. And that's pretty much it. And we'll hit solve. It's taking a while, it's initializing as you can see here. Cool, the solve is finished. It took 58 seconds to finish it, and the average error is 0.54. So if I play, oops. Alright, the main problem is we don't have to solve for the witness camera. I'll do a break connection and then I'm going to lock it. Alright, let's do the solve again. So we're not solving for the witness camera. We're going to only solve for the board and the main camera. Solve. Alright, it took 63 seconds to solve, and we got an average error of 0.11 pixels, which is good. So let's see how the camera is doing. So the camera is sticking to the plate from the witness camera. Let's look from the main camera, and this is my main camera, and looks like it's sticking properly. Cool, that's pretty much it. So you don't have to have common points or anything. You can just track points anywhere on the board. Some points from the witness camera, and some points from the main camera, you just drop all the bundles of the markers which you have dragged on the board into the object, and then solve for that object, and that should work. And as you can see, we have our camera move exactly matching, and you can do a lot of things from here. Like if you no longer want to consider the witness camera, you don't want to 100% stick there, but you want to smooth the board motion, you can do that. So if I select my board and then go to animation editor and get that here, as you can see, my translations and rotations having some peak values. We can smooth that out. So I'm going to show an example how we can do it. So I'm going to select the Z trans and then select all these points, and we have this shelf button called smooth. I'm going to smooth that, and then maybe move this up a little bit, and so once we have a bit of smooth on the curve, we'll just lock that channel, and you can solve again. That's this one, and solve. Cool, we still have the same error, but if you see my board curves, it's smooth now, and I'm guessing we didn't change anything. It's still smooth. So like this, you can smooth your translations and rotations. So I can go ahead and smooth the Y translations and X translations. And so if I select the camera and select my translations, they're pretty much smooth already, and we don't have any Z rotation. There's a bit of Y rotation there and X rotation a little bit. Cool, that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys in the next one.